100% interest in her. Now, this might sound racist, but it's not racist. It's not racist because you can tell, bro. Like, let's not fucking kid ourselves. Let's not play the race card and say, like, oh, you're just because of this. Not because of that. If somebody genuinely likes somebody because they're black, cool. Or somebody likes interracial, whatever. It's fine. But let's not kid ourselves. You can tell when somebody's dating someone else because of their attributes, because of their performance capabilities and stuff like that. So when I see a girl that I can tell is just dating a black guy, just for his gifts and his talents, you know, I'm turned off by that because it tells me that you can't control yourself enough to where you just want to have a good time. And it's just a turn off to me. It's like for girls, if you see that I am sleeping with a girl just because she has a big ass, that should be a turn off because like this guy only thinks with his dick, with his head down there, not the one up here. So it's the same way for me. You know, I'm not that kind of person. I don't truly give a shit if a girl has a fat ass or not, or, you know, I'm actually a face person. I don't give a fuck about anything else. Like, I'm not too sexual, you know. I'm not that person. I think my brain is too elevated. I'm too much of a genius to give a shit about stuff like that. It's like all those porn stars that go and bang guys, and now they want all those porn sites to wipe the internet so that their future kids don't see that shit. It's not gonna happen. You made a choice, and now you have to abide to the consequences. So if you go around doing that, don't think your dad doesn't know why you slept with a black guy or a 6'7" dude, 6'7", or why your mom doesn't realize that, or why your future kids won't realize that, or why an employer, you know, whatever. People.
When you're desperately trying to articulate something, that way it doesn't come off offensive, but it still comes off offensive because it is offensive and it's borderline weird. Definitely like this video. Go to this man's page, watch some of his other videos for a bunch of original content. He makes a bunch of good stuff. Now, basically, a lot of brothers are just living rent-free in other people's heads. But I understand what he was trying to say. Basically, what he's saying is anytime he sees an attractive Caucasian woman with a brother, the only thing that's coming to his mind that he believes that that woman's only entertaining him because of the size of his eggplant. The brother probably has meat like a fire hose, and he's probably putting a little ass through that mattress, and that's the only thing that's coming to his mind. Now, when I read the comment in the comment section, I bust out laughing because, of course, they're eating him up, and rightfully so. But if I would have heard this video back in the day, I would have bust out laughing too. But as I got older, and I went through something like this myself 3-4 years ago, I understand what he was trying to say. There are people that have that type of fetish. I had a woman, that was the first thing that she brought up. She went straight for the gusto. And that woman went into deep detail about the fetish that she had with black men because of the alleged size of everybody's penis. And to this day, when I pay attention to people, people do it all the time. The only reason why he's entertaining that woman is because she's not going to hold him accountable. She's going to let him do what he wants to do. The only reason why he's entertaining that younger girl, because, you know, they're going to allow him to do what he wants to do because they're gullible. People do it every day, and people say it to themselves all the time. People just don't like to say it out loud because they're in fear of the backlash. But it was still a very weird take. But leave a comment in the comment section. But y'all grown and do what y'all want to do.
Still don't think white men are obsessed with black men. I have a story for you. One of my friends was dating this guy back in California, and when they were hooking up, he literally told her to say Black Lives Matter. And she was like, what the fuck? Because this guy was like a leftist, or he was left-leaning. And she literally stopped it, pulled her out of the moment, and she was like, what are you talking about? And he was like, oh, like, I need you to say that, or I need you to say that, like, you've dated black men in the past, and like, I'm nothing compared to them. And these men have like humiliation kinks, and they enjoy being compared to black men because it's a sexual thing for them. And it just shows how much sexual fetishes are shaped by racism. As white men, even though they're on the left, that are using this as a way to get off, it's very, very uncomfortable. And it shows how deeply this fetishization is rooted in white culture. There weren't even black people in the room. It was just two white people, and yet during sex, they're talking about a black man. And trust me, this is not even close to the worst thing that people are saying out there. All I'll say is do not go on Twitter and search up anything related to fetishization of black people. And it's not just conservative men doing this, it's a lot of men on the left as well. Times I've been on dates with white men and they've asked me if I've dated black guys before is ridiculous. I was on a date with this white guy in Chicago last year, and he goes, so who do you typically date? The guys that look like me? I knew exactly what he was getting at, because most white guys will ask this question at some point because they're trying to figure out ultimately if you're, quote, tainted. I literally said to him, does it bother you that you think about black men so much more than they will ever think about you? And that ended the conversation, but obviously we didn't go on a second date, and I do think he was pretty offended by that. But the amount of white guys, even who are, quote, liberal, who who are genuinely threatened and intimidated by you going on a date with people of color is ridiculous. Because it's not just black men. If they find out that you've dated a South Asian man or you've been on dates with women, specifically women of color, they will react similarly. Although it is obviously the most pronounced and genuinely disgusted that they will look if you say that you have been on dates with black men. But this is just one example of white men trying to figure out the quote purity of the white women they're seeing. And it's a way of resource guarding their own women because they don't like white women seeing other races or other genders.
All right, man. Appreciate y'all. Let's cook. So apparently this video is going around talking about, Brad is worried about, or what they saying about, black white women dealing with black guys and basically how they don't mess with them. And this ain't nothing new. There's a lady on was on the internet, went viral last year, and she said, she went on a date with a guy and he found out that she slept with a black guy and said basically she was a no-go zone. And there was another video, and I'm gonna try to find and put it in there, where they were saying that the white lady was saying that Brad was very jealous of black men, and they basically, used us as their measuring stick. You know what I'm saying? Like, basically had this complex about us, about how they measured up to us. And, I mean, even when you go outside of interracial relationships, ain't really my thing, but even when you go outside interracial relationships and you just talk about competing, you know what I'm saying? Even when you go out here and compete in the world for jobs or careers, or you compete for money, they have a superiority complex, like they above you. And then when you have a position where you above them, they feel very inferior and very, very bothered by it a lot of the times, because they understand they got a leg up on you. They got the connections, they got the privilege, so they got the leg up on you. That's what people don't understand. So when they see you, you really move up through the ranks, financially, and you got something that they ain't got, that means you really got it. I think people don't really notice a lot of the wealth that's being passed on is obviously it was stolen. It was built on slavery. It was built on some type of, it's rumors about Coca-Cola and drugs, but a lot of their wealth that they get, like, they have traditions and stuff. So even if, they get married and shit, they buy their daughters, they get their daughters, or they do the newly newlyweds, or the new couple, they get them houses, they get them cars. You know what I'm saying? When you notice, like, a lot of even the poorest of white people who be staying with their parents or whatever, if you really listen, they be buying like ATVs, they be buying campers, RVs, brand new trucks. You know what I'm saying? It's just a different type of privilege they got, because they stick together and they pass things down. You know what I'm saying? And then also they get opportunities based on who they know. And sometimes when they boil down to give opportunities, even though if you're the best candidate for the job, when you go to corporate America, a lot of times it goes to who they know, or who they can familiarize with, or who they feel they'll work better with. You know what I'm saying? So it's hard for them to stomach. It's hard for them to stomach when they see, like, even anybody, even especially when it's somebody black, versus somebody Asian, more so than Asian or Indian and all that. When they see that they're superior, or they make more money than them, or they got a higher position than they do, it's hard for them to stomach that. So I think people on the surface level, you looking at it from, the conversation is about, why white women would deal with black guys, and this is, it's all about the sex. It's all about the sex. I mean, I've heard that white women and white people don't really care about sex to the point of maybe the black community or the Latino community. It's not even that, that important to them. That's the crazy thing. That's what I have heard. It's not even that important to them. Because if you think about it, they have a history, and a modern history of swinging. That's not something that black people do. Like, polygamy is a lot of our culture from indigenous people. This fly getting on my nerves. Indigenous people in America, and indigenous people probably Australia, the Aboriginans and Africa, people from Africa. That may, polygamy might be the culture, there, but for their culture, they swingers, they share their wives, they share their husbands. They do these swingers and this. That really ain't black people thing. You know what I'm saying? That's something that they do, and they able to swing, stay within the parameters of swinging and share their people and share their wives or share their husbands. That's not something that I believe in and I could be a part of, to watch somebody drill my girl that I care about, or my wife, my baby mother, whoever it may be. In general, that's just not how I'm rocking. You know, but to each his own. I'm not knocking if you do. But a lot of these dudes, man, they rock out like that. This motherfucker, man. You gotta understand this deeper just on some sex shit. But, you know, back to the conversation of having, like, you know, having there be some jealousy or something there, or marking those women as is not you know, oh, we don't want to deal with that. But the funny thing about it is how much, you know, white men sleep with black women on the low, and how easy it is. I'm not here to really talk about how easy it is for them to sleep with black women. They go, you know, you hear videos of them going to Africa and sleeping around and giving them diseases. You even see videos of them, you know, hiring black men to sleep with their wives. You see videos of them, you know, you hear all these divestors. That's why these black divestors are so crazy. Is because they turn their vitriol towards, you know, even black men that just choose to date black women. Especially the ones that choose to date outside their race, they really have vitriol for those people, because the white man they want to be with won't claim them. I see it all the time, like living out in the suburbs. It'll be, you know, some white old man, you know, broke, busted, and disgusted, probably divorced, and he have a black girl living with him, you know what I'm saying, and they'd kick it. He never had to marry her, you know, don't have this fly or great amenities. You see it all the time with them, you know. It's this stereotype that black dudes deal with low hanging fruit when it comes to white women. But in general, you know, if you really pay attention and when you go out, you'll see the low hanging fruit that a lot of black women deal with white guys. And it seems like black women only date the superior or the top white guys. It's a facade, because you see in the less than 3 or less than 5% of them that choose to get married is very, very few, because you don't see them in general online. You don't see them together online because Brad won't claim them. That's what people don't understand. You won't see them on the numbers because they sleeping with them on the low. But in general, it's always a complex, bro. They always been infatuated, you know, with our size, our strength, our naturally high testosterone. You know, they should chop our body parts up and put them in jars. It's always some type of inferiority complex. That's what it boiled down to. And then, you know, for the dude to say it's just about sex. I mean, if it's just about sex, how many women we know will marry the lame or marry the provider guy and still be getting clapped up on the side? So if it's just about sex for them to make that jump from Brad to a black man, it's not just about sex. It got to be something about compassion, security, treatment, chemistry, and I'm just guessing. It has to be somewhere amongst those lines. And in general, you know, as hip hop culture is really starting to take off, is one of the younger kind of genres of cultures out there. A lot of these women are getting infatuated with them through the rappers and all that shit, through the culture, through how people dress, you know, and you know. But in general, it don't bother me none. It don't, because one of the issues that Brad and Becky always had, they always had a feud against each other. I think it really popped off when Brad allowed black men to have rights before Becky did. And then Becky put a battery in Keisha back, and they came up with this new age feminism. So since Becky hate Brad, they have conditioned Keisha to hate they man, and then secretly they be wanting to steal Keisha man. They be, you know, wanting to be sleep with Keisha man. I know a bunch of white chicks, you know, that behind their husband back or on the low be sleeping with black dudes. Shit, ain't nothing new. Ain't nothing new. And I seen a brother, man, he be wearing a bonnet. You know, brother, I don't know why this nigga keep putting a bonnet on TikTok, but, you know, he was saying that Latino women will deal with you, and then they'll deal with you and run back and marry a Hector that look like a truck driver, just stereotyping, a little chubby. And I'm like, as a man, so what? So what if a bitch using you to fuck? I mean, that's mostly what most dudes want from the average chick anyway. Only time unless you meet an extraordinary chick, you want more than just sex. Somebody that you really fuck with. If a chick just want to fuck, most dudes, man, any masculine man, 95% of dudes is gonna take that deal, and with no strings attached. Come on, man, you gonna take that deal. So just if they want to sleep with you, let you get the best of her and send her back over to Hector. I mean, I don't understand what's the problem about it. But these tender dick ass niggas out here with bonnets on, it shouldn't really phase you. But in general, shit, it just let you know, that they always worried about what we doing. Oh, it's just about sex. Why? Because y'all feel like y'all financially superior. And then once you get a 300-year head start, and you look at the financials, they not even financially really whooping niggas like that, like brothers like that. It's not even that big of a difference. That's the crazy thing with all the hand-me-downs, all the opportunities, all the privileges, all the rooms you can get in that we can't get in, and y'all ain't even really whooping us like that. That's crazy, bro. Despite all the obstacles and distractions and all this stuff y'all put, we still survive. Half of the brothers is still in the middle class. And then they have this belief that people love to push the narrative that they created child support because of black men. No, they created child support because Brad kept running off on his children. Look it up, but I hit the link in the description, join the Patreon. Peace.
When a girl dates a black guy, I lose 100% interest in her. Now, this might sound racist, but it's not racist. It's not racist because you can tell, bro. Like, let's not kid ourselves. Let's not play the race card and say, like, oh, you're just because of this. Not because of that.
His take 100% comes down to insecurity. He was talking about how he doesn't really care if a woman dates a black guy, but if a woman is really just dating a black guy because of his capabilities and because she's only thinking down here, and that's why he would never take her seriously, because it's the equivalent of a man only dating a woman because she has a big butt. And my thing is, how do you know that that's the reason she's dating that guy? I feel like you are projecting maybe some of the reasons that you date women onto women who have dated black men because you're racist. One of the top comments said this is such a corn-brain take. I completely agree. I think this take comes down to insecurity. It's making everything about black men sexual. And I honestly just think it just comes down to racism at the end of the day. There was no valid reason in anything that he said. Genuinely. That is my personal opinion, so let me know what you guys think. Bye.
This may be sort of a little controversial take, but I don't care. When I see a black woman with a white man, I don't bat an eye. But when I see a black man with a white woman, I bat an eye or two or three. Because 9 times out of 10, that black woman preferred a black man. She just wasn't having luck with black.